Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people, and one of its greatest strengths is its diversity. Yet, since independence in 1960, we have often failed to use that diversity as a tool for growth. Instead of seeing what unites us, too often we focus on what divides us. But I believe strongly that a united Nigeria means a stronger Nigeria, and a stronger Nigeria means a more competitive Africa. Every ethnic group has something to teach, something to contribute, and something others can learn from. Today, let's explore what we can all learn from the Igbo people, who have been admired and sometimes misunderstood for their unique entrepreneurial spirit. I meet Igbo people everywhere. In remote clinics, in restaurants abroad, in the bustling streets of China, in the quiet corners of Vienna, and in the busy markets of Lagos. No matter where you go, you will find an Igbo man or woman trading, hustling, building something from almost nothing. They have carved a reputation as resilient traders and builders of small and medium-scale enterprises, often without depending on government support. They don't wait for opportunities to come, they create them. Of course, there are resilient business minds across all of Nigeria's ethnic groups, but the Igbo have embedded entrepreneurship so deeply into their culture that it has become almost second nature. In times when youth unemployment is high, when our economy can no longer rely on oil, and when rent-seeking from politics is less sustainable, it may be time for the rest of Nigeria to look east for inspiration. Take, for instance, the story of Emeka. I met him at a Harvard Business School lecture in Lagos. At first glance, I wondered what he was doing there. He had dropped out of school, never attended university, and spoke with a strong Igbo accent. I assumed he would be lost in such a high-level lecture, but I was wrong. Later, when I visited his office to buy a laptop, I was stunned. His workplace looked like a factory, buzzing with activity. Staff lined up packaging and shipping laptops across Nigeria and beyond, to Abuja, Owerri, Chad, Niger, Maiduguri, even as far as Freetown. His business turned over $6 to $8 million a year. Now pause and think about that. A high school dropout making more than a bank CEO, more than a partner in a global consulting firm, more than a physician running his own hospital. Emeka is not an exception. He is one of many Igbo traders who have succeeded not by following the conventional academic route, but by mastering the art of business through lived experience, culture, and persistence. This challenges us to ask a difficult question. How much does formal education really matter for the aspiring entrepreneur? Should we keep insisting that every young person follow the straight path of university? Or should we open their eyes to alternative ways of learning, creating, and building wealth? This doesn't mean education is useless, it remains a powerful tool. But Igbo entrepreneurship shows us that education does not always have to be formal, nor must it come from classrooms and certificates. Business acumen can be taught by mentors, learned from the marketplace, and passed down through apprenticeships. In fact, the famous Igbo apprenticeship system, where a young person serves under a successful trader, learns the ropes, and is eventually settled with capital to start their own business, has been described by Harvard itself as the largest business incubator in the world. Beyond education, there is also the principle of frugality. Even after achieving great wealth, many Igbo entrepreneurs are known for living modestly. Emeka, despite his millions in turnover, still drives a car worth about $12,000. They often travel economy class, sometimes even by road, and reinvest what others would spend on luxury back into their businesses. This may seem strange to outsiders who measure success by cars, houses, or expensive holidays, but the Igbo entrepreneur sees it differently. Every naira saved is another brick in the foundation of future growth. This culture of frugality does not mean they do not enjoy life, they do. But they prioritize building something sustainable over showing off something temporary. That discipline of ploughing resources back into business is one reason why many of them grow small shops into large enterprises, sometimes in just a few years. Now, persistence is perhaps the most defining feature of the Igbo trader. They have been caricatured for decades in Nigerian comedy and politics, but behind those stereotypes lies a relentless spirit. The typical Igbo entrepreneur keeps going in the face of failure, starts again after setbacks, and refuses to quit, even when the odds seem impossible. Calvin Coolidge once said, "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence." Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. That quote captures the Igbo business spirit perfectly. Think about it. Many successful Igbo traders begin with nothing but a little capital and a willingness to endure hardship. They sleep in their shops, work long hours, and take risks others would avoid. Over time, their persistence pays off, not only creating wealth for themselves, but also providing jobs for others, feeding families, and building communities. So what can we, as Nigerians and even as Africans, learn from this? First, we learn that entrepreneurship is not just about education, talent, or connections. It is about mindset, culture, and persistence. Second, we learn that frugality is not poverty. It is wisdom. It is about valuing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. Third, we learn that persistence is a currency more valuable than money. With persistence, you can rebuild after every failure, and with persistence, you can outlast every competitor. Imagine if this spirit was replicated across all ethnic groups in Nigeria. Imagine if Hausa, Yoruba, Tiv, Kanuri, Ibibio, and others embraced entrepreneurship not as an individual pursuit, but as a cultural value, a way of life. Our economy would not just diversify, it would explode with creativity and innovation. Nigeria would no longer be waiting for oil revenues to rescue it. Instead, we would be building from within, powered by the resilience and brilliance of our people. At the end of the day, the Igbo trader shows us that success is not a gift handed down by government or inherited from wealthy parents. It is something you build with your own two hands, brick by brick. Failure after failure, success after success. And maybe, just maybe, if we all learn from them, Nigeria's diversity will no longer be a weakness, but the greatest strength that drives us into the future. At the end of the day, the Igbo trader shows us that success is not a gift handed down by government or inherited from wealthy parents. It is something you build with your own two hands, brick by brick. Failure after failure, success after success. And maybe, just maybe, if we all learn from them, Nigeria's diversity will no longer be a weakness, but the greatest strength that drives us into the future.